Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to do the final idea. I'm going to show you how to do it in oblique, and I'll show you how to do it in isometric also. So on this sheet I'm going to do it in oblique. So again we're going to do this to scale. So the scale we're going to use this time is 1 to 2. Doing it full size is too big, so we're going to do a scale of 1 to 2. So first of all we need to about 2-3 centimeters up from the bottom of the page. Draw a line 6 centimeters thereabouts on the page, and I'm going to draw a line up 50 millimeters 5 centimeters. Okay, so that's our kind of the front of our passive amp. You can just see that. I'm going to press on harder with my pencil so that you can see. You need to press on nice and lightly with your pencil, remember. So there we go. And obviously with oblique, all we do, as you know, is we extend out from each corner at 45 degrees. The passive amp will be about 30 millimeters in thickness. So if we do a scale of 1 to 2, then that's 15 millimeters. So put your ruler on the corner, and you get an idea for what 45 degrees is. Obviously it's half a square. Same on the corner here. I'm going to sketch that out, and the same on the corner here. Okay, I'm going to measure 15 millimeters from each corner to the end of the line, and then I'm going to sketch in. You can use a ruler if you want. I'm going to sketch in the back of the block. You get something that looks like that. So I'm going to straighten that line up. And there we go. So there we have our kind of block drawing in oblique. The circle at the front is 30 millimeters full scale. This is going to be 15. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to find the center. I'm going to draw a line across diagonally across the front there, and then I'm going to measure up 1 centimeter there, and then 5, 10, 15. So there's the center line for the circle, and then I'm going to draw the circle in. So sketch that in there. Obviously if you can do 2 circles, then you need to kind of space the circles out equally. So maybe have a gap of 5 millimeters at the edge, 5 millimeters at the edge there, and then measure 15 millimeters and 15 millimeters in, and draw your 2 circles nice, spaced evenly. And that's it really. Next you need to draw in the 3 layers. So if you're going to mark on this line increments of 5 millimeters. And what that will allow you to do is divide that space up into basically 3 pieces. The same on the left hand side here, and then draw a line across. And then there is a gap. Now the gap will be determined by the width of your phone. What I'm going to do is just draw a line about 10 millimeters in from each side, and that is going to be the gap that my phone is going to go into. And that's it. I'm going to finish it off with a ground line which needs to sit above the bottom of the object, the product. And the last thing I'm going to do before I render it is go over that in pen. You can do this with a ruler if you want to. I'm just going to sketch over it with my black pen. I'm going to go over my circle. Now I'm going to draw the inside of the circle. The inside of the circle is basically a copy of that side of the circle. They're just inside, just move to the right. That's good enough. The rest of it you won't see, it's only 1 layer. So just drawing the inside of that to make it look 3-dimensional. draw my lines going across there, and then 2 lines here and here. And then finally I'm going to outline it. It's the final thing I do with the black pen, is to outline it like so. Draw the ground line in, and there you have it. So I have my bleak final idea. Write my title, final idea. Make sure I underline it. The next thing I'm going to do is render it. So first of all, we need to erase the pencil lines. Again, you should press on lightly with your pencil. So I've just missed the corner off there actually to draw that line in there. And now we're going to add some colour. We're going to make it look like it is made of wood, which is obviously going to be plywood, something like this. So first of all, with a yellow pencil crayon, in the same direction, top to bottom, I'm just going to shade that in very quickly. I'm going to go over all of the front of the object. You can see how quick I'm moving my pencil. I'm going to go over the sides as well. When I get to the top though, I'm going to go from left to right instead of from down. Just my ink on my pen is still a bit wet, but that's okay. So that's very quick and quite rough actually. Then with an orange pencil crayon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create the grain. And all I'm going to do is from top to bottom, I'm going to press on relatively hard, and I'm going to draw some lines down, but they're not going to be completely straight. I'm going to curve them as I go. Because there aren't any straight lines in the grain of the wood. The grain is the pattern in the wood. And then finally, I'm going to put flecks of brown. So for this, you need a yellow, brown, and orange pencil crayon. And it's just a very quick way of rendering this object to look like wood. That's the front. Now the sides again. Now the sides have lines of plywood veneer, so there's layers in the wood. So I'm just going to draw some stripes with my orange pencil going across, and then finally with my brown pencil, which I need to make sure is sharp, I'm going to draw lines going up like that, like stripes, and do the same going across the top from right to left. And inside here I'm going to shade that in because that's going to be dark, that slot. I'm also going to shade the inside of the hole in brown, and the edges there are going to have a line. Just shade the edges in also as well, and then just shade the bottom of the block. There'll be some shadow at the bottom there, and there'll also be some shadow on the right hand side as well. So I'm just going to, with the brown pencil crayon, going to go over that just to darken it up. The last thing I'm going to do, just with my pencil, is add a shadow, the base, and the shadow is going to come out at 45 degrees. If you want to, you can use a ruler, put it against the edge of the block, and shade away, and get, as you move out, get lighter, so the shadow is darker nearer the block. Do the same on this side. And there we go. We have a final idea, nicely rendered in oblique. The isometric version looks something like that. For the isometric version, I've first of all drawn a crate. Got my starting point somewhere on the right hand side here. 30 degrees. Need to get some idea of what that is. Draw a line out there like that, and a line out there like that. Again, I'll press on quite hard. Pencil. I'm going to draw the block. Again, the block is 15 millimeters in thickness, so measure 15 millimeters along there, and 60 millimeters along this line. We need to draw vertical lines from those points. Then we need to draw up 50 millimeters from each of those points. There we go. 50 millimeters up on the left hand line as well. And then we draw the back of the block in, and those lines need to be parallel. And you should end up with something that looks like that. So we've got a very simple block. And then obviously what we need to do is to shape your idea. And obviously I didn't shape my block here, but obviously you need to choose one of your ideas to draw down here. So obviously if this block was shaped, then the side would come in and the lines would still go out from the points on the front shape. So to get this angle here, I'm going to measure in a centimetre from that side, a centimetre from that side. I'm going to measure up 2 centimetres, up 2 centimetres, and then just draw a line between them. That line will be on the back edge as well. And we end up with something that looks like that. You can see that. The circle, the isometric circle, to do that, you find the centre, so you measure across there, so 60, the centre is 30, and we'll draw a line up. We'll come up from the bottom, a centimetre, and then the circle is going to be 15 millimeters. And what we need to do is draw an isometric crate. So we're just going to draw an isometric box there, and we're going to use that box to help us draw what will look like an oval, because a circle is in isometric is skewed at 30 degrees. And this is a quick sketch. You should get something that looks like that. Once you've got that, then obviously you follow all the same stages as with the oblique version. You're going to go over it in pen. You're going to outline it. Make sure that your outlining only goes around the edge of the shape. So if we draw that in very quickly, be able to see it. Go over that, outline it, make it pop out from the page. Remember, the outline is only around the outside. And the last thing is to draw the inside of the circle. Again, you're just copying the shape of the outline of the circle there, moving it slightly inwards, and you should end up with something that looks like that. Then the last stage then is to render that. Obviously you need to draw the slot in as well. If I just sketch that in, and the layers, the plywood, and there will be a line just there, just making that look like a slot. So that line needs to be going there. That's important. Use the same rendering techniques as on the oblique version, and hopefully you should end up with something that looks like this. I've also added a background, and obviously I've got my ground line in there as well. Okay, so that's what you're aiming for. Check the blog for any instructions. Make sure that you've got your information sheets. If you haven't got a printer for the images, then just leave a gap, and when we get back to school we can put those hopefully put those in. There you go.